And go!
All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the SinCal Studios. Bueller and Dennis here, ready to break you off some MMA news.
I feel like
Dodge
there's something missing.
He's the elephant in the room.
The elephant? Dodge is not an elephant.
He's the elephant not in the room. Dodge is unfortunately not here today, so I'm gonna try to pilot this bitch.
Way to go, Bing Bong.
Yeah, I don't. This is not my. I'm not usually in the driver's seat here.
This is good.
Usually because I can't drive.
It's good for us to alternate the wheelhouse.
Well, that's fair enough.
I'm going to set the traps this time.
We all have to be
You
equally
steer.
experienced. We'll see what happens, and then who's going to be
The old Dutch rudder?
Who's going to do your job?
Who's going to do my job?
Josh has to make sound effects from over there.
Yeah.
Double.
I don't even know what happened there.
Just say
Dutch rudder.
stupid shit. There you go.
So as we
He
jump
can't
into
do it. He's science. He can't say dumb stuff. He can only say smart
I
stuff.
say stupid shit all the time. It's not funny, though.
The Earth is flat.
Hillary Clinton is awesome.
God damn, I've never said that. Lies.
All right, so we can jump into it now from mymmanews.com. Of course, the big topic of the week is Dana White, Floyd Mayweather, and what is going on with all this. We talked about it last week, and I think we kind of nailed it. I think we got it right here. Dana said they're in serious talks with Floyd Mayweather in the UFC.
How serious can they be?
Well, Floyd Mayweather came back and said, I am not fighting in the UFC because that's what everybody is thinking is going to happen here, except for us. Last week we talked about this. He's not going to fight in the UFC. He's going to be some kind of consultant or something like that. He said that he could make $1 billion in the UFC, and Dana White said they're in talks for something. I guarantee you, like we said last week, he's going to help them start up Zuffa Box.
Right. Well, no, and so if we're going to talk about it, so then he came out this week and said that he never said that. He said, what I said was, if I wanted to do it, I could do it. And this is how he could do it. And again, he kind of broke it down like we said, 3 or 4 fights, $250,000 piece.
But he said he doesn't want to fight anymore, and that's not what his plan is. But Dana's saying that they are in talks leads me to believe that I think we were right last week when we called the consulting thing.
I think I'm right all the way out, that it's not even going to involve WMIE and fucking, it's just going to be Zuffa, Dana, and now what is it? Money
the
Network?
Money Team. The Money Network.
Team?
Yeah. And after all of this came out, Demetrius Johnson, our big-time champ in the UFC, pound for pound, biggest fighter in the UFC, said that he would be more than happy to fight Floyd Mayweather in a boxing, stand-up only match. Not boxing, but no grappling. So that means DJ can kick.
Yeah, that's a whole nother angle that
Floyd doesn't have.
Yeah.
He had never been kicked by somebody like DJ.
But I mean, so before Floyd finally came out and said that, okay, I'm not going to do that, I kept thinking, I was like, maybe in all the sparring and all the people that he worked out with, because as much as McGregor talked about all the boxing people that he worked with to take the fight, Mayweather brought in MMA fighters and fought him stand up, but just to have that angle of how an MMA guy would come out.
Completely different angles.
So
yeah.
I'm wondering if the Money Team, when they worked with these MMA fighters, if they saw a gap or somewhere, because no matter what, I mean, the guy can't read, his dad's a douchebag, but all in all, they have a
all
science.
All he needs to read is all them zeros on that page.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a science for the sport that they know.
Yeah.
And they have a science for fighting. So it makes me wonder if they found a hole or somewhere that they think that they can get in on an MMA fighter.
No.
No,
I don't think so at all. I think he knows. I think he knows to stay in his lane. He's only going to do boxing, and he's not going to box. He already said, if I wanted to box, it's all if I wanted to box. I don't want to box anymore, but he can make $1 billion with the UFC. Dana's saying that they're in talks. Still, I think we're going right down the road of them doing something with Zuffa Box in the future.
Yeah, and
I don't ever see Demetrius Johnson and Floyd Mayweather stepping in the ring or in the cage to have a no grappling fight.
Oh, but if it becomes Zuffa Boxing, we will see Demetrius Johnson go in as a boxer.
Think so?
Oh yeah,
it'd be interesting to see. That's a solid point though, because we could see somebody like Demetrius Johnson, also of course the Diaz brothers.
Cerrone. I think Cerrone could do a boxing match.
Cody No Love has got boxing experience. Mike Platinum
Dillashaw,
who only has one boxing match and lost it, but for some reason that's his default pick on his wiki. I have no idea why.
Yeah, I tell you, somebody who can't after watching this weekend is Platinum Perry. He's not a stand-up kind of guy.
Well, he's got knockout power, but he's not. He can't go the distance. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk shit. I don't want him coming out in here, but we'll talk about it later. But
he'll be hanging with the boys. Hanging with the boys. We're looking at possibly Rose Namajunas having her first title defense at UFC 221.
Oh, we're just gonna go over the fact that the one pussy who won't defend his belt, called the skinny guy that whooped his ass a pussy.
Oh, Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
I didn't have any of that. What happened?
No, it's ridiculous. So after everything comes out and Mayweather says that he's not coming to the UFC to fight in an MMA match. So Conor takes a picture of himself holding 2 belts, which he really doesn't hold anymore. But he has 2 belts, just like GSP.
I own a couple belts.
Yeah, everybody owns a couple belts. DJ's got about 11 of them and defended 10 of them. So, but anyway, so the guy who is running from MMA for the last 11, almost 12 months now, 13 maybe?
13
months.
13.
Been running from MMA for 13 months. Called a guy, the 40-year-old man who whooped his ass, a pussy
For not coming over to MMA.
because he's not coming over to MMA.
That was never part of the agreement.
Yeah, but that's what he wants. He's like, come on, I got to prove that I can do something. But, I mean, wouldn't that be awesome if he did come over and then fucking just beat the shit out of McGregor? Ran from him for 3 rounds, got him tired, and then just boxed the shit out of him?
I would love to see it. It's not going to happen.
Well,
We know McGregor's a chicken shit, and he's not going to defend any of his belts because he's afraid of tarnishing that legacy. He wanted to make his money. He got his $100 million. He says that maybe he's going to... We can get to some other news here in a little bit. Well, we can just talk about it right now. We can skip over it later. GSP has talked about he will come back, and he's talking about coming back for a super fight. And that super fight, of course, is Conor McGregor. That happening spring of 2018.
Okay.
Do you think that'll happen?
I fucking hope not. I mean, I would like to see GSP make that money, but fucking McGregor doesn't deserve it. Fuck that guy.
Well, we'll see. That's definitely what GSP and that. Man.
It'd be nice to see GSP whoop his ass, though.
GSP would Russell fuck the shit out of him for 5 rounds. Conor McGregor would know what it's like to have a lead blanket on.
Yeah,
him.
because that's what Chael Sonnen said, that he felt like it was 1,000 pounds on his chest, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what Conor McGregor. And somebody was saying on Reddit,
it's the ultimate Danny Thomas,
that the weight capacity was way too different for them to fight. But GSP fights at 170. He was uncomfortable at 185, and then we had.
No, let's get it down to 155. I'm tired of people saying that fucking McGregor's fighting giants.
When McGregor fought Diaz, though, didn't he come in at 168?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got GSP, who regularly fights at 170 anyway, and we know that Conor can get up to 168. I don't see an issue with the weight here.
No, I want it lower because I just hate saying, well, Conor had to gain so much weight. He went in there so heavy.
Nah, forget that, man.
Fuck that. Let's do it at 135.
Dennis wants to kill GSP.
No, man, I just don't want any more excuses for McGregor when he loses.
But that's not going to stop the excuse.
Do you have any idea how many probes he would have to go through to get down to 135?
Oh,
yeah. He'd have to have so many aliens up his ass. Man.
I'm not impressed with your weight lifting ability, your weight losing ability.
Not impressed with your probing. All right, so now jumping into UFC 221. The rumor here is that we're going to have Rose Namajunas defend her belt for the very first time in Perth up against none other than Tecia Torres. Oh. This would be the rubber match between the two of them because they're one apiece.
Tecia.
How you like that for her first title defense?
I don't know, man. It's like Stranger Things is moving into my my porno dream.
So we have that. Possibly, it's just a rumor right now going down UFC 221. Of course, we're coming up on UFC 219, so we're a little while away from that. That would be, what, February?
Joey thought we were like at 235.
I thought we were 220, man. Come on now. So, anyway, that's the rumor there. Going from that, we have Jim Miller is releasing Fire Flames just in time for the holidays. Jim Miller's got his Fireside Christmas album out right now.
It's the most wonderful sound that you'll hear.
When I first saw this, I thought he released a calendar, like a holiday calendar. I was like, man,
he's got a real ugly sweater and a real cool beard.
It's the most Jim Miller time of the year.
Yeah.
Didn't he just retire too?
Did he? I think he said he was going to retire, but I don't know if he really has.
Well, you can pre-order his album right now if you want.
And is it going for a... Is it for a foundation or something, or is he really trying to collect the money off the album?
I think that it's probably got some charity tied.
Charity going to it. It's hilarious. If you can, I wish we could show you the live commercial, but we don't have those kind of rights.
Oh, so I shouldn't be playing this? All right.
Yeah, we could show the still photo, but the
I will
commercial
stop playing that right now.
Is hilarious.
It says, but wait, there's more. Act now, and I'll throw in a free gift. Make your lover swoon this Valentine's Day. I guess he's throwing in a bonus track.
He's doing Bublé.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. That's at bjpen.com.
Oh, it's at what? Did we just do something for bjpen.com?
Aaron Pico, who we saw lose at Bellator 183?
Yeah, like one of the hugest hype trains. I mean, they followed him all the way from wrestling. His signing once he came from wrestling.
supposed to be the next big thing in MMA up in
And
the
he still might be.
Bellator arena. Well, apparently he only lasted 24 seconds when he came in against the underdog Zach Freeman. So questions, of course, came around whether or not he actually had what it takes to compete in the MMA world. Now he's talking about making his return.
Well, obviously they covered everything but that one move.
What's a calf slicer? That's a thing? That's bullshit, man. He's gonna be making his debut against another rookie, Shane Cruchin. This is gonna happen January 20th.
It's not a debut. It's going to be the second one.
It's gonna be making his return against
return.
another guy's debut. Shane Cruchin, which is going to happen January 20th, 2018. That's happening in Inglewood at Bellator 192.
So they couldn't find a can, so they're having to fight a Cruton?
Yeah. Cretin?
Crouton?
How's Bellator already at
Throw a little-
183?
throw a
They're only
little
a few
balsamic
behind
on that.
the UFC. How's that possible?
Oh, they just been bumping them up.
Just making numbers up. They started at Bellator 100. It's like when you can order checks at whatever number you want. You know?
So I was going to say.
Where do you guys want to start your Bellators at? Can we start at 128? Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. What do you want to start your checks at? 12,000.
12,000. I was when I was younger, in my younger days, I had to put a deposit down on something.
You were
And they're
young ones?
Yeah, young ones, and they were like, "Well, if the paperwork said you had to put a check down as a proof of having an account or something like that, but
Right.
the check couldn't be lower than number 1,000 or something." And I was like, "All right, I'll just go. I'm gonna go order that.
Yeah.
Can I order check number 1,500? Cool.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I guess that means I have established credit now.
There you go.
Just like
And as long as you have checks, you still have money.
I was gonna say, that's my parents growing up right there.
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store, mom writing a check. Mom, we don't have any. Shut up.
Oh, dude. Our middle brother is the ultimate check chaser, dude. He knows exactly where he can use his checks.
Is that right?
Oh, he's good.
Oh man, that's old school for me.
Yeah, he's good.
Mom's in jail again. Check fraud. All right, cool.
No, he's never busted for no fraud.
I didn't say your brother.
Our circles don't go like that, Joey. We go parallel.
We got Josh Barnett and Jim Ross did a commentating thing earlier this year. I think it was July.
And they were almost as good as us, too.
Almost. I think it was at G1 in Japan or something like that, if I remember correctly. But it looks like they're going to be making a big return, and they're going to be commentating together once again.
Dude, Jim Ross's one-liners are hilarious.
Yeah,
I think if you go to his podcast, I think the shirt sickle for his podcast, you can get all his one-liners on his shirts.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We have Shirt Sickle. You can get this shirt.
Yeah,
You
shirt
see that?
sickle.
Get it at Shirt Sickle.
As soon as we figure out how to make a widget, it'll be on our website.
Touch my widget. Get off my widget. Together, Jim Ross and Josh Barnett form one of the strongest, most unique commentary teams in pro wrestling. So it looks like what they're going to be doing is commentating at Access TV, who does New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's what I'm getting from this. You know, Dodge is he's gonna watch this later, and he's gonna correct me with everything that I've gotten wrong.
Hey, man. Like they saying, dude. Wish you were here.
Big fan of that commentating team.
Should have phoned it in.
We could get a phone box right here. Get one of those. The PFL back in the news.
Oh. So they're going to start.
Well, apparently they're supposed to be starting sometime in 2018.
Thanks for narrowing it down.
Yeah, it was supposed to be January 2018. Can't say if that's still going to happen or not. My educated guess, based on the fact that it's almost Christmas, and January is literally the month that follows December.
And we haven't heard anything.
We haven't heard shit.
And there's no more
contract
commercials.
signed.
There's no more commercials.
There's no commercials. There's nothing happening.
We had
Radio
one fighter
silence.
say that he is going to fight in it, but he doesn't know when.
He doesn't know when. Well, none of them have contracts for next year yet.
So based on all that information,
We are not starting in January.
that's our personal belief. We
Educated
have
guess.
no way of getting any concrete evidence, and by no means are we anybody that you should trust. We're not a credible source.
Not a credible source. If I had to guess, if they were actually going to start something
Yeah.
up, I think I would have to guess that we're looking at least May.
Yeah, Mueller tried to put us on a subpoena, and they were like, "Those motherfuckers don't know shit.
No,
dude.
goddamn.
They don't know nothing."
Get them out of here.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the Earth's
we
flat
can't
or
even
not.
spell collusion.
So we got Bruce Boyington, who fought for PFL. Mm-hmm. He let off some tweets. He wants to get into a lawsuit battle against the PFL.
I like this. I want to fight the PFL.
I want to fight the PFL.
So what I'm doing here is any attorney out there who's got some time,
Got some time.
and you guys want to make some money, maybe.
So apparently Bruce Pretty Boy Boyington wants to fight a non-existent entity at this point in time. Regardless of that,
No, now that's the thing is There is something.
If you go to SureDog.com and you click on the tabs where it says UFC, it has all the UFC events.
Right.
You click on Bellator, it has all the Bellator events. You click on PFL, it's a big old goose egg.
Okay.
Nothing.
Right, but there's
doesn't exist.
There's still a place to click for PFL.
All right. We'll see what happens with that. I'm saying if it happens, it's not till May. That's my guess.
May?
Are they in like Fight League Purgatory or something?
Something like that. Yeah. So Bruce Pretty Boy Boyington.
Is that called obligatory?
This is obligatory. Signed a 4-fight deal with World Series of Fighting. They gave me 1 fight since 2016. Then called me before Christmas to say I didn't make the cut. They are ruthless.
So how does he fight? How is he going to sue PFL for something he signed with World Series of Fighting?
I don't know. He tweeted this at Ray Sefo. He says, PFL tells us to wait until January 2018 and we'll have a lot more fights. I wait all year and then they tell me I'm not making the cut. This is what's wrong with sports, MMA.
Oh, so they at least told him he's not making the cut.
Yeah.
So they got at least 10 other fighters that are better.
Well, it's 12.
There you go.
It's 12. He says, Carlos Silva, this is BS. Lawsuit is coming.
If you're one of the 12, get a hold of us.
Yeah, please. We'd like to know what the hell's going on. PFL dummy. We'll keep you anonymous. We will not divulge our sources.
We'll just say you're one of the 12.
One of the 12. PFL
Ooh, it could
dummy
be the
dirty.
new 12 Angry Men.
PFL
We don't know when
dirty,
we're fighting.
And I'm pissed. I just had me sit and wait all year at the top of my career just to tell me we don't need you. 3 fights left on contract. Fought champion, last fight. So Ray Sefo decided to jump on and clap back.
Let me tell you something.
know what?
You know what?
Ray Sefo says,
You're about to find out.
Bruce, stop making yourself look like an ass. The fact that you've lost your last 3 fights, 2 by stoppage, and your record is 14-11, you didn't make the cut for the final 12 of the season.
We were just being nice.
Mic drop. He just mic dropped you, Bruce Boyington.
Yeah, and all the people in Japan and China that love Ray Zeppo went, yeah.
I just think of Brian Boitano when I hear Brian Boyington. What is it? Bruce Boyington? What would Brian Boitano do if he were here right now? I think he'd kick an ass or two. That's what Brian Boitano do.
Is that the skater?
Yeah. Haven't you ever seen that South Park episode? What would Brian Boitano do if he were here right now? Think he'd kick an ass or two. That's what Brian Boitano
That's
do.
the movie, right?
Shit, I don't know. It's been forever, man. Moving on from there to some sad-ish news.
The fuck?
Former Bellator champ Daniel Strauss was hospitalized after near-fatal motorcycle crash. That's why I say sad-ish news. He has made a statement since this happened that he is hoping to recover.
Life on a bike is dangerous, man.
Very soon. He says, on early Sunday morning, I was involved in a motorcycle accident. I'm currently recovering and will hopefully be returning to the Bellator cage sometime soon. I appreciate all the well wishes and ask that people respect my family's privacy during this difficult time.
It's like a very athletic and explosive Pippi Longstocking.
The guy is laid up in bed, asshole.
These motorcycle accidents, that's how we lost Frank Mir for so long. And when Frank Mir, he got T-boned by a car when he was riding his motorcycle. And the doctors said that if he wasn't in the shape that he was in, his leg wouldn't even have been salvageable. But he had so much muscle.
What, oval?
He had so much muscle holding the bone in place, they were able to put it back together like a jigsaw puzzle.
Nice.
So hopefully that's the same case with Daniel Strauss here, that his physical ability is helping him heal quicker, and he can return. That was
funny, though, Josh. You get 100 points.
It was a very athletic and explosive motorcycle crash. Reebok, we don't have any graphics for this, but Reebok apparently has revised their deal now. This is kind of a good deal for some of the fighters because it helps out the bottom.
You know what? I think some of this has to do with Dave Madden getting those 10,000 tweets.
Well, it's trickle-down economics here.
I was going to say...
That shit never works. Ask the guy back there.
It doesn't work.
Just look at Kansas.
So Reebok was giving... It was the 7-tier bonus
You should
structure.
look at Kansas.
This isn't Kansas anymore, baby. So Reebok was giving a 7-tier bonus based on fighters' experience, starting at $2,500 all the way up to $40,000 per fight. That had to do with your champion status, had to do with your experience in the cage, and that's pretty much it. Those were the only factors, right? Well, now they've decided to be a little more generous and raise up that amount from $2,500 to $3,500.
Oh, they put a G on it.
But it's going to expire in like 5 or 6 years, right?
I don't know.
2027.
So the new system adds a tier that pays fighters with 3 or less bouts $3,500 per fight, and fighters with 4 or 5 bouts $5,000 per fight. So it looks like from what this is saying, they added a tier that pays lower fighters $1,000 more than the lowest paid fighters were getting before, and the lowest tier before that was only getting 25 is now getting 5,000. So really, from what this is saying, the lowest fighters now get double their pay with Reebok, which is nice.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi just said Reebok's like modern day slavery.
Hashtag Nancy Pelosi.
Hashtag Nancy Pelosi.
Hashtag tax cuts. I'll take an extra $1,000. That makes me happy.
Until 2027.
I will take $1,000 a year until 2027. That's $10,000.
And then you got to get back $5.
Forget all that, man. Everyone's going to die. It's Armageddon. World's over.
Asteroid 2020.
Asteroid 2020
Palestine's going to nuke everybody.
Maybe.
Yeah, Palestine.
As soon as you
We're
can.
getting off topic there.
Camels with the cruise missiles.
Oh, my
I
friend.
wasn't going to say it, but
Dude, you can't launch a nuke with a slingshot.
Well, I'm just saying, with all this shit about the UFO coming out this week, is anybody else freaking out?
How does nobody care?
Really? What's going on?
wait.
Eddie Bravo's
Do you
been
think
right.
are they Palestinian UFOs? Is that what's going on? Oh.
Not unless they were launched into orbit with a slingshot.
No, they were a pile of spinning UFOs. You heard Palestinian? It was a pile of spinning.
Ah. But I'm done.
What?
Mark Hunt is done with the UFC. We talked about this a little bit last week, but it's a little more official now. He's got one more fight with Curtis Blades coming up, but then he's got 2 more in his contract after that. We talked about this beforehand. You were right. He just wants to knock those out as fast as possible because he wants out of the UFC.
I want to isolate that audio later. The small part where it's like, you were right.
What are you, a woman?
Yes. Today I am. I can be that. Nancy Pelosi told me I can be a woman.
Why do you keep bringing up Nancy Pelosi?
Why not?
I don't like her either.
Wait, why do you think it's about you? You're so vain.
Holy shit. We are off the fucking rails right now.
I'm telling you. Dodge is like he's like the yin and the yang.
Brings
and
us back to the center.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mark Hunt, he's done. We're looking at the end of Mark Hunt probably in 2018 if he can get his fights. That's the thing though, with the contract, the UFC's done this before. It's like, oh, you got 2 fights left in your contract? Guess what? You're not fighting for the rest of the year. Go sit your ass in the corner, baby.
Do you think they sit him out while they got a lawsuit going on?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They sat Couture?
But he didn't have a lawsuit going
he
on.
did.
Did he really? Mm-hmm. I never heard about the Couture lawsuit.
Yeah, it was during the whole like movie thing, like way back in the day. And they're like, no, you can't leave. You got contracts left with us. And he was like, no, I'm going to sue you to leave then. So they didn't sign him up for any fights because he wanted to get him done. I'm probably remembering the timeline wrong. And again, Dodge is going to, correct me later. but yeah, no, they've done this before. They've sat fighters that wanted to get out of their contracts.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much it for news. We did have some fights last week. Bellator went down. Was a short card. Hopefully I have the right one up. Is this right? Nope. Is that it?
It's 191.
I clicked on 191, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it the Michael McDonald one?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jeremy Peatley got a win with a split decision over Louis Monarch. Philip DeFries over James Thompson with a guillotine choke in the first round. Also, Valerie Letourneau over Kate Jackson with unanimous decision. Michael Mayday McDonald broke his hand in a unanimous decision up against
bad break
Peter Legier. Of course, Mayday is one of our local fighters here training out of Oakdale.
Did you say he broke his hand on Peter?
Broke his hand on Peter. Oh. He got a full-on boxer's fracture right through the first knuckle here. It was brutal.
No jokes about McDonald and Peters.
Oh, that's right.
We're already in the shit house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now we know his feelings are located in his hand. That's why he got hurt so bad. So, Moving on from there, UFC on Fox.
Hey, I'm just suggesting you should stop touching Peters.
What about Paul's and Mary's?
He was robbing Peter to pay Paul.
What?
He was rubbing Peter to pay Paul. Not really though. It was just a funny play on words. Man, now I'm gonna get trouble again.
Here we go.
Gonna be somebody waiting for me.
Here
in the studio when I
we
get
go.
there. Yeah. Jordan Mine up against Eric Silva. This is UFC on Fox 26 with a unanimous decision in favor of Jordan Mine. Alessio Di Chirico, whatever, gets a KO over.
It's not as fun when I can't see what the names that.
I know. Now I can make up whatever I
You
want.
could be
Neither
right.
one of us can see what's
It
going
probably
on.
says something like
Sounds good.
like Cheerios or
Justin Smith got a win over Justin Smith with a KO. No, Alessio Kiriko got a KO, big KO in the second round over Oliwale Bangbus.
Oh, yeah.
Bang
Bang
Bus.
Bus lost.
Bang
yeah.
loss. John Makdessi got a unanimous decision over Abel Trujillo.
Bing, bang.
Nordine Talib got a head kick KO in the very first round at 59 seconds over Danny Roberts. That was a brutal one.
Yeah.
Chad Laprise got a TKO over Galore Bofondo. And Julian Marquez got a guillotine choke over Darren Stewart. Jan Blachowicz got...
See that? Finish.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. And then you got an unanimous decision with Jan Blachowicz over Jared Cannonier. That was your prelim card on Fox Sports 1. Jumping onto your main card on Fox. Glover Teixeira got a KO over Misha Kirkunov.
Glad to see Glover doing some work.
Yeah. He's got heavy hands. He's always had heavy hands.
Yeah.
If he can touch it, he's going to put you to sleep. And then Mike Platinum Perry, who we talked to last week, he does not have the cardio, lost the decision up against Santiago Ponce.
Okay. What made him think, I'm beating this guy, let's wrestle?
I don't know. That's a terrible idea.
It's a horrible idea.
Terrible idea. Because he boxes, he chases people down and he strikes them. And his only other decision loss on his record, his only other loss is because he had to chase the guy around because he couldn't stand and fight with him. That's how he wins.
But that wasn't even on his pro, right? Because he was undefeated pro.
No, he was not undefeated pro.
Okay.
He was 12-1 or 11-1, and that one was a decision loss because he had to chase the fighter the entire time.
Now it's a 2.
Now it's 11-2. But those 11 wins, they're all KOs.
Yeah.
Those 2 losses are decision losses.
See, KOs. You don't wrestle somebody into a KO.
No.
It has happened, though. I think we had a KO body slam, right? Didn't somebody body slam?
Oh, yeah. I mean, shit, Gary Maynard knocked himself out with a body slam. And then we had a catchweight fight with Josh Emmett taking on Ricardo Lamas.
Wow.
Josh Emmett getting a huge KO over Ricardo.
Poor Lamas. I don't think he's ever been knocked out that bad.
And Josh Emmett was the one who came in overweight, right?
A little bit, yeah.
3.5 pounds.
About a quarter cup.
A quarter cup overweight. And this one just made me sad, man. Rafael Dos Anjos got a decision win over Robbie Lawler.
Why so sad?
Just beat his ass for 5 straight rounds.
Oh, who saw that coming?
Landing combo after combo after combo.
They call me Mystic Dennis.
And they call Robbie
because I predict these things.
they call Robbie Combo Meal now because he was just eating that shit like crazy.
And again, there's another one. Okay, second round, he's unloading on him. And then he lays on him and, dude, just keep beating him in the fucking. He could have knocked him out in the second.
Maybe he didn't want to, man. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he just wanted to take a little siesta.
Do you feel at any time Dos Anjos was in any danger?
No. What the problem with Robbie Lawler is that he has one punch knockout power, but we didn't even get for some reason Rafael Dos Anjos didn't even activate 5th round Lawler. We didn't see 5th round.
He didn't even. He stayed a shadow.
Yeah.
He stayed a shadow the whole time.
Fucking turbo meter just never went.
Yeah, it never happened. Never. This should have been 49-46 at the very least, but no, it's 50-45 because 5th round Lawler was still in the stands eating popcorn or something. You know, no idea what happened there. So that's it.
You're gonna jump in on this? No.
Yeah,
No.
Come on. Where's Peter Pan's shadow? Come on.
Get in there.
That's it. There's no fights this weekend. We have UFC 219 going down next weekend, which we will be talking about after the holidays. So that's that's it, man. Right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Big thanks to our sponsors, Dependable Solutions. Innovate your business. If you're looking for a new way to take credit cards, check out Dependable Solutions. Or if you don't take credit cards with your business, they can help you out and they can give you great rates as well.
Yeah, in most cases, they can save you 40 to 60% on your current card business.
That's better than Geico.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, mymmanews.com. Check them out. They do this 24/7. We do it once a week, so you can get all the breaking news from them. mymmanews.com. Obviously, find us on Twitter and Instagram, SD_MMA, on Split Decision MMA Podcast on Facebook, and SplitDecisionMMA.com. Blogspot. All that stuff. Follow us on iHeartRadio. You'll get updates when we upload a new podcast like today. Yay. And that's pretty much it from the SinCal Studios. It is Bueller and Dennis with Absentee Dodge saying have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
Find us on spacedocking.com.